Hello and welcome to my channel, Kuromus here. Today I am presenting you a ranger multiclass into Eldritch Knight. We will be a frontliner, dealing damage with our two-handed weapons. We will have access to Horde Breaker as early as level 3, allowing us to hit two enemies if they are close together, using a single action. On top of that, we will have access to ensnaring strike. Enemies will be immobilized and we will have advantage against them. This will let us activate our Great Weapon Master passive for easy big hits. This build has some dexterity built into it, so besides acting fast, we can have decent shooting. We will be wearing medium armor. The fighter subclass Eldritch Knight will give us access to some defense and utility spells. This helps with our spell progression, allowing us to upcast our ensnaring strike for additional damage. Without more delay, let's begin. We are going to start our build as a ranger. Our choice for favored enemy will be Bounty Hunter. It will improve our ensnaring strike that we will obtain at level 2. The enemies will have disadvantage on their saving throw. We pick resistance to fire and then we allocate our ability points. We will focus mainly on strengths and we will have some dexterity to have good initiative and be able to shoot from afar quite competently. For skills proficiency, having athletics will do. Moving into level 2, we will get access to our first spells. As mentioned earlier, we will go for ensnaring strike. Do not be deceived by the tooltip. This skill can be used both melee and ranged, whatever you prefer. For our second spell we will choose Long Strider, improving our passive movement speed by 3 meters. For fighting style we will choose defense, because later on, when we multiclass into fighter, we will choose the 2-weapon fighting style. At character level 3 we will choose our subclass for ranger. We will also gain access to a third level 1 spell, in this case I choose to cure light wounds. For our Hunter's Prey passive, we will choose Horde Breaker, granting us an additional attack against melee or ranged. Keep in mind, enemies need to be really close for this to work. At character level 4, we will get access to our first feat. We're going to utilize ability improvement to round up our stats, choosing strengths and dexterity in this case. We continue our journey and we finally arrive to level 5. At this level, as usual with martial classes, we will get an extra attack. We will also gain access to our first second level spell. Keep in mind the ranger list is not really wide, so in this case I decide to go for lesser restoration. With it we can remove some ailments from allies like blindness or paralysis. At character level 6 we are going to multiclass into fighter. This will give us access to very useful skills from the fighter class. We can also choose our second fighting style as soon as possible. And for this build it is going to be Great Weapon Fighting, further increasing our damage while utilizing this type of weapon. We will stay in fighter up until character level 9, since we want to get our second feat as soon as possible. At character level 8 we are going to select our subclass. For this build it will be Eldritch Knight. The main reason for this is to continue improving our spell progression. Plus we will get access to the shield spell, which is going to help us survive. We will also have access to weapon bond, making us immune to be disarmed, which is somewhat useful. Feel free to choose any cantrips you consider necessary, Firebolt usually being the most common choice. As for level 1 spells, I go for Magic Missile and Thunder Wave, since I believe are the most useful ones. Once we reach character level 9, we will choose our 4th and last level in the Eldritch subclass, and we will have access to our second feat, and our choice here will be Great Weapon Master. This is a passive that we need to toggle on and off. From now on, our sequence will be to ensnare an enemy, and after we are successful, we will toggle on this passive, granting us extra damage in our attacks. Keep in mind we have a -5 penalty on our attacks while this is active. So if we do not succeed in our ensnaring strike, we will need help from our allies to maximize on this feat. At character level 10, we will return to our ranger progression. We will get access to the favored enemy passive, and here we can choose pretty much anything, it's not really important for the build. For our natural explorer passive, we will select poison resistance. At character level 11, we are going to get a very interesting passive in our ranger class. This will be a defensive tactic called multi-attack defense. What it's going to do is impose a -4 penalty on the second attack enemy perform against us. We will get another second level spell. Here the choice is up to you. In this case I decide to go with protection from poison. And finally we'll reach our last level and our third and last feat, and we will simply go for ability improvement strength to further improve our damage and hit chance. Now that our build is ready, let's give it a try. Here you can see the full combo in action. In this case we are successful with our ensnaring strike, granting us advantage on further follow-up attacks. We can activate our passive and have an 88% chance of success, mauling this poor guy to death. Keep in mind ensnaring strike will consume an action and a bonus action. So in this case we lose the extra attack from Great Weapon Master. This extra attack is granted when we defeat an enemy or when we critically hit. Here I was trying to put them close together, but unfortunately this guy is quite heavy and I can barely push him. You can see how small the Horde Breaker area is, so enemies really need to be very close to each other for it to work.
I should know.
Thank you very much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this guide and see you in the next one. Adios.